Hey guys, welcome back to JR14. Here I am with another video for you guys today. Now, as you guys already know, I currently drive a 2021 Model 3 long-range dual motor with the acceleration boost package. I bought it with 37,000 miles. It currently has 56,000 miles on it now. And you know what? I love this car. I love it. It's a fantastic vehicle. But I always wanted to know, what would it be like to drive a Model Y? Now, the Model Ys were out of my price range, which is why I bought a Model 3, and I really miss my ML as far as being the height. So what I want to do in this video for you guys is I actually want to review a Model Y. Now, this is a 2026 Model Y, long-range dual motor. There is no such thing as an acceleration boost package on this vehicle because it doesn't exist. It's 2026 model, it's brand new. So what I'm going to do, Tesla lent me this car for 24 hours for the channel. I'm excited about it. And I'm excited about it because of the fact that, one, I get to see this car and use it, my personal use, for the next 24 hours versus my Model 3. Now, I want to also talk about range. We're going to talk about build quality. We're going to talk about fit and finish. We're going to go through a lot of things with this car in the next 24 hours. So you guys are going to go along with me for the drive. I have it for the next 24 hours, 200 miles. It has 64% in it right now, and I'm leaving this here. So without further ado, guys, here's my experience with a 2026 Model Y long-range dual motor for the next 24 hours. So right off the rip, I'm sorry that it's dark in here. Right off the rip, me getting in the car, first things first, my phone works, which means my charging works. The wireless charging pads have been improved on the Model Ys. Now I have my cup here, and I have an adapter just in case if I need to charge for anything. I should be able to use Supercharge Station, but it is a brand new car. 62%, equivalent to 204 miles. And my initial impressions, it already has the LEDs surrounding the car. I love it. It's like the fit and finish is so far so good. But again, I want to drive. I've only driven like maybe a mile in it. So what I want to do is I want to take the time out. I want to be able to do a drive with you guys. I want to put it in the sunlight and explain my differences from a legacy Model 3 versus a Jupiter Model Y. So without further ado, guys, let's hit the road so I can give you my first impressions of the Model Y, 2026 Tesla Model Y. Next thing I noticed is normally this is the key, obviously these keys. Before, you used to have to put the key here in order to start the car. Now they want you to put it in the charge port, the wireless chargers, and that'll start the car once it recognizes it. Another thing that's different is also the fact of stalks, right? You have your turn signals left and right, but you also do not have your gear selector anymore. My Model 3 has it where it's up for reverse, down for drive, push the button in for park, and that's not there anymore. Now you do everything from the screen. If you want to go forward, you just put the brake and slide it forward. If you want to slide in reverse, you slide it back in reverse. And then if you want to put it in park, you just tap in the center for park. Again, very easy. Tesla makes it very, very simple, very easy. And, I expect nothing less. But yeah, I actually want to just take you on a moment. We're going to go for a bit of a drive, and we're going to see how this car really is as far as its ride quality compared to my Model 3. So let's hit the road. Okay, guys, I am now driving the Tesla, the new Tesla Model Y, Jupiter Tesla Model Y. And there's already some things off the rip that are very different from my car that I like, and some things I kind of don't like. I mean, you know, obviously things are new with the times, but there's some things in this car already that are appealing to me, and some things that are very interesting in terms of how to activate them. One, I still don't know how to do it yet. I think I actually just figured it out, to be completely honest with you. But considering the fact, and I'm going to show you here, considering the fact there's no stalk where I'm driving, usually you tap down twice for drive to put full self-driving, and I don't know how to do that now. Now, there's no way for me to use full self-driving. I mean, at least I don't know how to do it. I'm sure it's a very easy way to do it, but comparing my Model 3, it was just simply tap, tap, or just tap once while already driving, and it'll do it. This car doesn't have that, so I have to figure out how to put full self-driving on, and then when you're in drive, the slidey thing goes away, so you don't necessarily have that at all anymore, and I'm not sure how that works. But another thing that was a big complaint that the Model 3 currently still has, but the Model Y, you know, Tesla actually made some changes for the Model Y, was this turn signal stalk. One, I have like a double click, like there's like a phantom click and then like an up click process on mine. If you click once, it turns the steering, if you tap it once before the second click, they do the same thing. I don't know why they have that, but this is just a solid click for a left turn signal, click for a right turn signal, and just tap, and just like gently tap it in the middle to turn off. This still does have the auto turn off, you know, turn signal once you're in a new lane. Another thing I noticed, you'll see a car come in by blind spot, and actually, let me get over. Actually, I won't even get over. I'll wait until a car comes, and I'll speed up a little bit. So once a car's in my blind spot, usually there's no interference until I make a turn signal. But now you have this little light in the dash, in the mirror here, I mean in the speaker, that shows your blind spot, which I think is kind of cool. But I want to know, do you have that if you put your turn signal on? Where if you normally put your turn signal, so this car, I don't think it has it anymore. Usually on the, it still does have it. It does have it, and it makes sure the car is red too. So it's just an added feature. So that's not necessarily bad. I thought that they just got it. You know, it just went to the red light moved from the speaker to here. I mean, from here to the speaker, and that was it. But now it's incorporated. So now you know a car is coming in your blind spot based on a light that comes on your dashboard, even if you don't have a turn signal. So good job for Tesla on that. My lights and everything are now here on the steering wheel. Wiper blades are a button on the steering wheel. I think my full self-driving is here. If I push this button in, there we go. So if you push this button in, that's full self-driving. So I just turned it off. So okay, that's good. Another really cool thing about this Model 3, the Model Y that I like on this one, is the button for the cameras. If I just tap this button, I'm able to see everything around me. And considering the fact that this is the new Model Y, the beautiful thing about it is now you have your front camera. So, which is awesome. First of all, this is a flex right here. First of all, the camera quality, right? The camera quality, I don't know if you guys can see that. This is the new resolution of this front camera, and it's absolutely crisp. Much more crisp than the hardware drive. The full self-drive computer 3, because this has full self-driving 4 computer built into it, and it enhances the cameras, all these bunch of new technologies, different things in it. And the one thing it does have is these new cameras, which are absolutely sick. I love the fact that they have some new features, but in the same token, it is very, very familiar. There's nothing new about it. There's nothing like, oh my God, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's fully like brand new, but it's also very familiar if you're coming from an older Tesla. Another thing, so you still hear wind noise. I noticed that. So It's not as bad as my Model 3, but I can definitely say you still have a little bit of wind noise from like the windows here, because it is still frameless windows, frameless doors, and that's just a common thing, right? That you're just gonna get that. It's the inevitable. So I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Your lights are here, like I said. You can adjust your mirrors here and adjust this button for anything. And you know, like everything's pretty much the same. Now, obviously, I'm driving, so I'm going to go through more features as we go along. But so far, so good. Another thing I want to say, and first of all, it is 90 degrees right now. Even though it looks like it's about to rain, it's 90 degrees and humid. God bless cooled seats, ventilated seats. And speaking of seats, I got my suction cup in the passenger seat right now. But I can definitely say these seats are extremely comfortable. And so far, I really like it. I love the fact that it's one solid piece of glass. The old Model Y was like that too. Only the Model 3s had the little break in between the window. I don't know why Tesla did that. Maybe to cut costs, to maybe it's two separate pieces of glass rather than one big piece of glass. And I love the tint on it. It doesn't make it feel as claustrophobic. And I'm really liking the way that this car feels. Now, something I do not like that I've noticed so far is that the Model Y has a softer suspension. And that's a given, right? Like, you have to understand that this is more of a family-oriented vehicle, and it's interesting. It's interesting to see how, you know, Tesla kind of tunes the suspension, but it's not bad. It's not bad, but it is a bigger vehicle. I can't really tell it's a bigger vehicle by just driving it, but you obviously know based on like the way it kind of floats over bumps, and that's okay. It's not a bad thing. I'm not giving a Tesla a ding for that. I like the new refresh, to be completely honest with you. I love the fact that the mirrors are also bigger than my Model 3. My Model 3 has a slimmer mirror, so sometimes it's difficult to see. But again, you got all these cameras, it really doesn't matter. But, you know, so far this is like my first impressions, and this is going to be a long video. But it's also going to be, it's a very raw video, because I just got this car. I picked it up at 4 o'clock. I have to return it tomorrow at 4 o'clock. And I really want to get my initial shocking impressions on it, having it for an extended period of time. When we get to our destination, what I want to do is do a quick walk around of the car and show you guys the exterior, some of the fit and finish, the build quality, the paint color, because, you know, obviously the opening, you know, of this video was unfortunately in a parking garage. But I will definitely show you more once I get to my destination. And again, also I'm going to be driving more tonight and tomorrow, and also talk a little bit more in the morning about how this car feels in terms of its driving characteristics. So stay tuned, guys. Next time next stop, I'm gonna get out the car, do a quick walk around, open the door, show you the interior, full fit and finish and everything else. So let's go on this drive, guys. All right, guys, so this, like I said, is the Model Y in the daytime. I finally got to where I needed to be. I'm sorry in advance for the wind noise, but it's about to rain here in a little bit. But this is the new, like I said, I said the Model. I don't know if I said Model 3, but here, this is just a good quick walk around the Tesla Model Y 2026. Dual motor, all-wheel drive, new tech, new everything. And like I said, I really love the way that the new Model Y looks. I love, first of all, I'm not a fan of the Cybertruck. That's just me personally. But I did like the fact they took the Q design from the Cybertruck and incorporated it into the new Model Y. Obviously, you know, these are like their caps, aero covers, whatever you want to call them. They have them, and then I'm sure obviously there's a cool wheel behind that. Usually that's what they do. They usually have like some type of a cool wheel design behind that. But I wanted to just pretty much show you the car's exterior, but also quickly what I want to do is I want to take you on a quick walk around of the car, a little bit, mostly the interior, which is where this car is really going to shine and really has a lot of improvements. I mean, besides the exterior, like I said, the exterior is pretty cool. I'm actually going to put on the lights for a minute because I believe, in my opinion, they are a good showpiece a good showcase to the car, because it looks good. Like, it definitely looks good. I do love the light bar here. No, it's not flickering. It's just because of the frames on my camera. But we do have the full DRLs here that goes across the whole thing. But these are not your headlights. These are your headlights, which are multi-pixel matrix lights as well. These do have the adaptive feature that my Model 3 does have as well. And obviously all the cameras are the same. You have your B-pillar cameras up here. You have your fender cameras there. But this time, like I said, considering the fact that it has the new Model Y, you also do have a camera right on the bottom here. Now, all the cameras have been improved for the 2026 model year. So they're much clearer, like I said, during the drive portion. But one of the things I really want to go over is the interior. Tesla did a much better job with the interior. The fit and finish, it's very solid. It doesn't feel like it's cheap. My interior on my Model 3, I love the fact it's simplistic, but it does feel a little cheap in some places. I'm not mad because I didn't spend the $50-something thousand for my car. I spent in the $20,000 range. So as far as the interior comes and goes, I don't really mind it. But for 2026, we have new seating, a little bit more bolstering. Also, you got perforated leather. And also, these are, like I said, heated, but now also cooled seats, which is why they're perforated. Also, you do have a new design here. Let me move my water bottle out of the way. But you do have a new design here for the cup holders, as well as, you got your big storage here. You got big storage down here. And one thing I really do like is that these wireless charge pads definitely charge better than my car. My phone actually is apparently these wireless chargers allow my phone to charge here with my case. My Model 3, I cannot do it, and it's kind of annoying. Another bit of piece that I like is this kind of like stitched, kind of like leather, and it's all soft too. Like this is hard plastic, but this right here is actually soft to the touch. And then also you have this nice, as far as the dashboard, it's kind of like, their vegan leather wrapped dashboard. As far as this new material that they do, I actually really like this. Even though it's cloth interior, it kind of makes it look a little high-end a little bit. I like that. They also incorporated it into the door. So you still have the Alcantara suede, which I have on my car, but then you also do have this cloth material, and it really feels high-end. It doesn't feel cheap. Also, one thing I really like, and I didn't even mention it, but these speaker grills are metal. The door card itself just feels solid, and the soft materials go all the way down. My car has hard plastics down here. This car actually is a little bit softer with softer materials. All the pockets are felt lined now. And the overall cabin is really nice. Now, one thing I really do like is that the RGB lighting, it goes from the door all the way around the dash to the other door. You also can incorporate that in the rear as well. They didn't skimp out. You do have RGB lighting in the rear as well. I love the all glass ceiling. The all glass ceiling is just awesome. But and then also, like, the old Model Y had this, but I mean, I just love it better than the cross beam on the Model 3. And I believe the reason why they did that is because, as you can see here, it's one solid piece of glass versus the other car that obviously has two panes of glass. And I'm sure the panes of glass, and the reason why they did that is probably to save a little on cost. I'm sure this glass is definitely more expensive than two pieces of glass. Also, the Model 3 does stop here and it goes all the way to the back window. But obviously on a Model Y, it's a hatch. So, they have to actually cut the glass from somewhere. So it probably didn't make sense to make two pieces of glass and then a third piece of glass. They probably just did it all like that. It could be either or. I don't know the exact reason. But now these are new 60-watt chargers back here. You incorporate a screen. One thing about my car, you cannot get this. This does not feature on the Legacy 3s or the Ys, but you can do a little you could do a little aftermarket retrofit, and you can definitely get a screen that will incorporate the the experience from the front screen with Netflix and everything else, as far as your Tesla theater and your climate control as well. Also are the, let's see, the seats in the rear are just, I believe they're just heated back here. So let me just turn this fan down really quickly. Yeah, so these are just heat. You can turn those all off. Also, you can adjust moving from the back. I love this feature a lot. You can, for these Uber drivers, they usually have the seat all the way facing forward so that the rear occupant can actually have some space. So I can have the seat like this if I wanted to. But again, you can move the seat back if need be. And the one thing I really do like about the Model Y is that there is more space. And this seat's a little bit leaned back. And again, I have plenty of leg room. I also have plenty of headroom as well. If you look at my head, I don't know if you guys can see me here, but I have plenty of headroom as well. The backrest actually meets my head perfectly, and I feel comfortable back here. And again, speaking of, like I said it once and I'll say it again, this all glass roof is a huge plus and a huge win. And it makes it feel very airy in here, even though the car is already spacious as it is. The quality continues on the rear doors. Like I said, that new cloth material, that RBG lighting, the Alcantara suede, and the vegan leather with the nice soft touch on the bottom with felt in the door pockets. My Model 3 doesn't have that. It has hard plastic, and it has whatchamacallit in here. Now, I don't know if my Model 3 does have this, but I think this is a way of getting out of the car of an emergency latch in the rear. And I don't think my Model 3 has that. My Model 3 has that in the front, but the handles are not labeled. These are. So you're not supposed to pull these up, but these are just in case of an emergency. And pretty much the Model 3 has the same exact seats, but again, you have this raised bar up here to elevate the seat for the Y. Now, the Y did not just do they didn't just go crazy with just a little bit of these features. They also did really cool things in the back, which I'm going to show you as well. First of all, can we talk about this new light bar? This new light bar in the back is one of my favorite features. It illuminates a line on the ground. It kind of gives me Porsche vibes, because Porsche vibes, they have all the Porsche 911s, all the Porsches. If you do have a light bar that goes across, it's all-wheel drive. Tesla had to do this. Also, I'm sure you guys have seen plenty of reviews with this new tailgate design, also with the rear bumper that comes out a little bit. Old Model Ys, most of the time, if you got into an impact in the rear, it would dent the rear tailgate, which made repairs very expensive. But now they made sure that the rear valance or the rear bumper, or the bottom part, comes out more. So this will be the first hit of impact. So it actually keeps the cost down, and this can be taken off without really dealing with the tailgate. So also you have a camera back here as well. There's a button right here. You just tap it up, and you have plenty of space for the Model Y. You have a partial shelf here that is foldable, and then it folds like this if you wanted to. Let's pull it back. So actually, you have the partial shelf like this here. You can actually fold like the way it was. You can actually fold it, take it out, and just fold it completely away. One thing, we got thunder coming, people. But I'm gonna try to get through this portion of the car pretty quickly. I'm gonna take this out for a minute, because one thing I do like is that you have double floors. Now, on my Model 3 and on any new Model 3, you do have space in the floor, but look how big this is. And then also, this is the MSRP on the car. This car is 60 grand. So this is a long range, all-wheel drive. And then also you do have another storage place over here where you can store that partial shelf. But new for the Model Y is power rear seats. I can power fold these down and get a nice flat space in the floor. Now, if the seat hits these seats in the front, it will come back up. So you all you have to do is just push it. You don't even have to hold it, and it will go down into the floor like so. Look at all of the space that you guys have here. This is amazing. This is just great. It's perfect, and it definitely, it's great, it's perfect, and it definitely suits the build. And again, you don't have to go back to the middle of the car to do it. All you have to do is just hit these buttons again, and you'll be fine. Also, if you were on the side, you also do have the power fold buttons down here on the side if you needed to get something through and you were on this side of the car. Also the same thing on the other side of the car. If you want the seats back up, all you got to do is just tap the buttons again. Seats come back and they latch in place with no problems. One thing I do like about this car in particular, it doesn't snag the seat belts when you put the seats up and down like my old Model 3 does, because my Model 3 does that all the time. Hey guys, it just started raining here, but again, like the steering wheel, all the controls, the new controls, some things are different in the screen. Like I'm talking about the most smallest things, like the little icon here. It has a little bar. I hope you guys can see that. It has the little bar, just like your whatchamacallit, just like your Model Y here. Also, if you go into settings, like I said, that's a new way. There's no way of turning. There's no stalks here, like I've been saying as I've been driving the car. But pretty much everything is the same, right? Glove box. Oh, one thing about the glove box that I noticed. On my Model 3, it's a latch. On most cars, the glove box is a latch. On this car, they changed that. So as soon as you hit glove box, it just pops down like that. Now, you think that's just very cheap, and it looks very cheap on the drop down. But if you look right here, there is a magnet for where this car just snaps back in place, and it's magnetized. So just to give you, that was just a quick walk around of the car. I'm gonna drive it some more, enjoy it some more, and then what I want to do is I want to drive this car later on tonight, and I want to talk to you guys about its range and how it performs. All right guys, so it's the next day. I'm heading to work, and I actually drove this car quite a bit last night, and I want to talk to you guys about the drivability, how the car feels, and also range and efficiency, right? First of all, before I even get into that, if you look at my hat, I noticed it doesn't even match my attire at all, but I have to give my friend, my brother, first of all, round of applause for starting this business, but also I have to give him I have to give him a little bit of time on here. So shout out to Daniel, who started his business called Unsung Speed. It's automotive apparel, but the apparel is definitely dope. It's awesome. The quality is definitely there. You got the great logo on the top here. So I wanted to just let you guys know, let the people know out there, if they want some good attire, and if you are a car enthusiast you want to support, go ahead to unsungspeed.com. I will put his link down in the description below in this video. But going back to the efficiency aspect of the Model Y, I don't know if it was me and my driving style, but I drove this car very similar to my Model 3. I don't know if it's also the new battery technology, obviously, or I don't know if it's the battery technology, or if it's the I don't know if it's like the battery technology, or the motors are more efficient, or maybe this is just more of an aerodynamic body than the older Model 3s. But I can tell you right now, driving back from where I was yesterday, definitely more of an efficient drive. Usually I can gain like maybe 1%, maybe 2. Like let's say, with regen driving back home on the interstate, I gained back 4%. So it said originally that I started off my journey back home with 63%. I drove about give or take 60-70 miles. I drove back with 60-70 miles of a trip, and I was expected to have 38%, but 37% by the time I reached back to my home. By the time I got back, it was at 41%, which the efficiency aspect of it is much better than the Model 3. Like I said, I don't know precisely what exactly causes or has caused the amount of 4% energy gain back into the battery, but it's there. And now I have 40% driving to work the next day. And even so, driving to work is probably going to take me about... So, okay, and this is a perfect example. I just left my house, right? So, usually, in my car, my Model 3...
500 feet, bear right towards BW Parkway North.
So, usually, by the time I get back home...
Right towards BW Parkway North.
So, usually by the time I get back, by the time I drive from home to work, I'm using 5% of the battery. And that's in chill mode, which I actually have the acceleration boost package in my car. And I usually keep it on chill because I'm just driving to work. There's no reason for me to have it in sport and use more energy if I don't have to. So that's give or take the case. In this car right now, roughly the same amount of traffic. I have 40% now that I left with. I will arrive with 37%. So instead of using 5% battery, I'm only going to be using 3% battery. And it's weird because this is a bigger car. It's definitely a bigger car. It's a heavier car than my Model 3. And it's just shocking, right? I don't really understand. I don't get that aspect. Like I said, it has to be something with the battery technology and the motors, and also the drag coefficient of this car just being that much more slippier through the air, which is, benefiting its range. But like I definitely have to say, overall, I love this car. Like as far as the comfort aspect, I can understand why the Model Y was the number 1 selling car in the world. It was the number 1. This is the car. And the older Model Ys are built like the Model 3s, so the quality is definitely not going to be up to par compared to this. But I'm glad to see that Tesla got it right. Tesla finally listened. They took some notes and they went ahead and got this car up to par. $60,000. Now, with the $60,000, I mean, I'm definitely gonna, like the last part of my video, I'm definitely gonna be breaking down price, and what I would get and what I would not get in this Model Y, because there are some features that I would not get in this car that this car has, and I believe this car is pretty much fully loaded. So it's just a matter of figuring out like what's the best options that work for you. It's again, and I'm talking off the dome, and I haven't, I just took some mental notes of the drive and everything else, and it actually, like I said, I'm doing this off the rip because I only have 24 hours with this car. I literally have to give this car back at 4 p.m. this afternoon, and that's going to be my experience. But I can definitely say I've driven it about, let's see. Wow. I've driven maybe like about 130 miles on it. And I can definitely say Tesla's definitely got it right. One thing I can definitely, weirdly enough, I can say there's some things that I do not, there's something that bothers me about this car. And I don't know if maybe this is their test drive car. I'm sure a brand new car wouldn't do this, but there's this weird clunk when you close the driver door. And I'm not gonna fault Tesla as a whole. I just think it's this car, and people tend to have the tendency to grab the window to close the door, and the window's very loose because it's a frameless door, and I don't think you're supposed to be closing the door like that. And over time, I think that it got loose, and I think the window kind of flaps against the rubber once the door closes. You hear this like jiggle from the window, and then after that it's solid. There's like nothing, there's nothing wrong with it. But this car only has 1,700 miles, so it's kind of like, is the bad Tesla build quality still there? I wouldn't say so. I honestly think that's just because of this car. Not really a big deal, right? You got warranty. Tesla's really good with their warranty. They don't really, beat around the bush. They're like, okay, we can fix it at your house. We can fix it at your job, or you can just bring the car and we'll give you a loaner, or we'll give you Uber credits, while your car is being fixed. And if there is no loaner available, like I said, they give you Uber credits for the duration of time that they'll have your vehicle. One thing that one of the features I'm really, really liking right now, I really, really, really like the ventilated seats. You can retrofit ventilated seats in a older Y or 3, so is it worth getting a brand new car and having a brand new car payment? Maybe not. But, if you're not up to that sort of thing and you don't want to retrofit anything to the car, your older car, or maybe you just, then I get it. Then you just get this and it will have these features already out the box. So, I definitely get it. And, like I said, it's just a really, really nice place to be. I want to see how these cars hold up with age and miles on them in terms of the interior build quality. Will things get loose? Will things start to deteriorate? Will the materials? So like one thing's for sure, like let's say this steering wheel, right? Normally these steering wheels tend to start to bubble and start to peel. The old 3s, the old Ys, very, very common thing to do that. I'm not really sure if it's going to happen here. The car's brand new. Again, that's something that I will have to see over time. But you do have a still heated steering wheel. Now, here's the funny thing. I do want to talk about the steering wheel for a minute. I love the new layout. I actually got very used to the buttons. I love the fact that the flashers or high beams are right here. So it's definitely pretty cool. I love the wheel. However, I would definitely say my car started to bubble, so I did do a warranty claim with Tesla. They didn't argue with me about it. They replaced my steering wheel. So my car has a brand new steering wheel. This is even with my new steering wheel, brand new from Tesla, this wheel feels better in terms of the materials. The material on here, I don't know if they use the same material, but it's definitely much better than my car. It's firm, like, there's no spacing, no gapping in the stitching. There's gapping on my stitching, like in this area right here. But overall, this steering wheel is better. I actually really love this steering wheel compared to mine. Some people like my steering wheel, the older legacy steering wheels compared to the new Jupiter and Highland steering wheels. But that's just, that's just an opinion. That's basically just an opinion. So the drive. So it was raining yesterday, and that's something I want to get into as well. Raining, like crazy downpour, thunderstorms, and it was flooding. So I was driving this car on the highway heading back home, and no hydroplane issues. Car was solid, stayed in its lane, full self-driving, worked well. And I want to talk about that really quickly. Full self-driving. Now, usually full self-driving, my car has cameras and sensors into the bumpers. New Model 3s, new Model Ys, even the older Ys, I think anything after 2023 does not have the sensors in them anymore. So the FSD is relying 100% on the cameras. So to utilize the system, and I didn't find any difference with it compared to my car at all. I felt that it pretty much was the same experience. Now I will talk about the AMD processor in here. Much more fluid. Not to say my car is laggy, but you definitely grasp the fluidness of the UI as well as the cameras. Sometimes my cameras kind of skip. Very rare that it happens, but it does happen. But I will say that the new Model Y, and I'm sure this is also going to be anything with the new AMD processor, is a much more fluid experience. And the drive, like I said, I think I said it in the beginning of the video, and if I didn't, I'll say it again. I'll say it now. The handling aspect, very good. Surprisingly good for a, you know, a mid-size SUV per se. But I will definitely say I want, in my preference, this is my preference, I understand why Tesla did this. The suspension is kind of soft in my eyes. I understand why. This is not a car that's going to be, you know, it's not the performance Y, right? It's just a regular Y, mainly for families, people commuting to work, or have kids, or have much more, have bigger stuff to carry on a normal basis. That's the only reason why you would have a, for the most people, this is fine. For me, I noticed my Model 3 was a little firmer, and I actually like that aspect of it. Most people don't. I would definitely say that the experience is definitely a positive one. I definitely have to give the thumbs up to Tesla when it came down to handling characteristics, driving characteristics. Definitely the quality of the interior is definitely there. And I definitely appreciate it. Like, it's Tesla's come a long way since 2012, and I think that now in 2025, with the 2026 model, Tesla's finally understanding that they cannot just get away with poor build quality. The lines on the car, in terms of the gaps on this particular model, have been great. They look great. They look like, everything matches up the way it's supposed to match up. And it's good. So now, the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is the price. What would I add in the car? What would I not add in the car? And how I would inspect this Model Y. And then I'm going to close the video out. So guys, let's look at this window sticker and let's jump into it. All right, guys. So pretty much I had it for 24 hours. So I'm about to give the car back. But before I do, the last thing I said I was going to discuss with you guys is pricing. Here I actually have the window sticker of this particular car. And the grand total is $60,380. Now, there is some things that this car has in it. This car has every option that you could possibly get on the new Model Y currently. And there's just some things that I would not get. One of the things I would not get, so for instance, pretty much the car base price is $34,000 flat. If you want the dual motor all-wheel drive, that's an additional 15 grand. If you want the tow package, it's $1,000. Deep blue metallic paint, which this is, it's another $1,000, and full self-driving is $8 grand. Supercharging as you go is obviously included in the price. It's free for 3 months, and then after that you link your car to the account. And then also you have the 5-seat interior. There is no current option for a 6-seater Model Y like there was on the older ones. Now, 60 grand is a lot of money, and would I do this over my Model 3, or if you're getting into a Tesla, would I pay the $60,000? And the answer to that question is no. Would I buy the Model Y over my Model 3? Yes. There's a lot of things that I do like about this car. I love the fact that it drives extremely well. I love the fact that Tesla did listen to the customers throughout the years, and they got the build quality right. Something that's very important, especially when you're in the interior driving the car most of the time. Majority of the interior cracks and rattles and cheap materials of the interior are completely wiped away. Like, this car is built much better, and is it worth 60 grand? I do believe that it is worth $60,000, but I wouldn't spend that. What I would do is that I would get one of the standard colors that come free with the car, which is gray and I think white. If you want black, that's $1,000, but I get it. If you were specific with a color, stick with that. That'll be the only option I would add. The one option I would not add, I obviously would, and before I get to the ones that I won't add, definitely get the definitely get the long range dual motor for 15 grand. So now your car's 50,000. The tow package, that's subjective. Depends on what you're towing. This car can only tow 3,500 pounds. So you're not really towing a car anywhere. The trailer by itself is 2,000 pounds. So I would not get that option. I would skip out on that. And then I would definitely skip out on the $8,000 full self-driving. If you guys don't already know, I do this in my Model 3. I pretty much just get the payment. I pretty much just pay for it monthly, which is $100 a month. You could turn it on and off whenever you need it. So if you want to unsubscribe to it 1 month, But the following month after that, you want to add it back on, you can, and it's just $100 for that month. 5 years times $100 still doesn't equivalent to $8,000. So if you kept it on for 5 years or even 4 years, you're not even beating the $8,000. So it doesn't even make sense to add it as a full package. Yes, as pretty much if you wanted to sell the car, it is definitely better to have it in there, but I wouldn't do that. I would have this car at $50,000, and this is not including that federal tax credit, which unfortunately, due to the bill that was signed, is ending September 30th of 2025. But unfortunately, I have to give this car back to Tesla now, and my trip is pretty much ended here. But I will say this, I would recommend a new Model Y. Thank you, Tesla, for listening to the customers, because literally the build quality is much better. The car is definitely greater. I'm excited if there is going to be a 7-seater Ultra, or if there's going to be a performance model coming out soon. So that's gonna be it. But guys, I do recommend the Model Y. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to JR14. And you guys always remember, unfortunately, when you gotta give new cars back, I ain't gotta pay for it, so that's good. You guys always remember that cars are a lifestyle.